It's been a somewhat confusing week of news for Australian cruisers, with the promise of travel confidence marred by the extension of suspensions. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thanks so much for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. This week, Royal Caribbean sent its crew members a letter confirming that they must have the COVID vaccine in order to work on board their ships. The exact specifics of when and how the vaccines will be administered for crew have yet to be revealed. Also still up in the air is whether or not passengers will also be required to take the vaccine in order to cruise. More information is expected to come to light in the coming months. Late last week, Canada's Ministry of Transport took the extreme step of banning cruise ships in their waters until February 2022. That's one whole year away from now and completely ended the 2021 Alaska cruise season before it even had a chance to begin. Alaskan members of Congress have released a joint statement calling the move unacceptable. Due to the Passenger Vessel Services Act, a piece of US maritime law, the only way for a ship to transport passengers from one US port to another without making a call in a foreign port, such as Canada, is for the ship to have been built in a US shipyard with US steel, under US ownership, and be crewed by at least 90% US citizens. Currently, there is only one cruise ship that fulfills this very specific set of requirements, and that is Norwegian Cruise Line's very appropriately named Pride of America. Every other foreign-flagged ship that wishes to transport passengers between US ports, like those in Alaska, must also visit a nearby foreign port, and without Canada's cooperation, there's very little that can be done. The decision therefore has huge ramifications, and it remains to be seen if there is any change to this decision. The Australian Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment, Dan Tehan, this week provided a glimmer of hope for cruise travellers. In an interview, he said, "The cruise industry has done a lot of work to make sure that cruising now is COVID safe. They've put protocols in place, so people should be confident to be able to go and book cruises. This news is certainly positive. However, the current ban on large cruise ships in Australian waters still stands and is in place so far until the end of March." With that, Carnival Australia have just announced a further suspension to cruising. All departures on board the Sydney-based Carnival Splendor to and including the 28th of June 2021 have been cancelled, as well as those on board the Brisbane-based Carnival Spirit voyages to and including 12th of September 2021. Carnival Spirit's additional suspension time is due to her scheduled dry dock, which has pushed back her resumption date. With these changes, the very first Australian departure is the maiden voyage of P&O's Pacific Adventure, scheduled for a 3-night cruise departing Sydney on April 30th. Remains to be seen whether that one goes ahead, probably not. And to that end, the big question is, when is cruising resuming? And this week I've formed a little bit more of an opinion about it that I will share with you now. Overseas, both Singapore and Italy are leading the way in the return of cruising, proving that it can be conducted safely. The fact that to date, the Australian government is unwilling to go down this path indicates to me that they are perhaps waiting for the vaccine. I could be wrong, of course, but Australia is in an enviable position with regards to the state of COVID in this country, and if cruising could be conducted safely anywhere on Earth, it's here. So as much as I would love to say that cruising will be back in April, May or June, I have a feeling that it will be hinged on the success of the vaccine rollout. I have faith that the government is monitoring the situation, and I believe that we are on the slow but steady march towards the return of normality. The next 3 to 4 months will be pivotal as the results of the vaccine rollout are assessed. Assuming a positive result can be proven on paper with regards to the vaccine rollout, I imagine cruising will be back en masse for our summer 2021-2022 season, which usually kicks off around October. This is purely speculation, and of course I could be completely wrong, and perhaps these are famous last words, but we'll see. Well, that's about it for this week's cruise news update. If you haven't checked out the other videos on my channel, go have a look. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. If you're interested in booking a cruise for 2021 or 2022, head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at thecruiseandtravelguy. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. It's been a somewhat confusing week for Australian cruisers. Nope. The Australian Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment The Australian Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment, Dan Tehan, this week said Tehan. However, the ban on cruise ships in Australian waters still stands and is currently set to end is still set to be April 30th on board P&O's I could be wrong, of course. Australia is in an enviable position.